I'm Sherry Kay, award-winning pianist, composer, and National Cooking Contest finalist. I'm also known as the Jazzy Gourmet because when I'm at home, I like to jazz up my meals, and now you can too. Check this out. -6 degrees here in northern Indiana today, and you know what that means. If it's that chilly outside, we're gonna make some chili inside too, but not just any ordinary chili. This is special Jazzy Gourmet chili. So I've started with some ground beef in my pot over here, and I've had it browning for a while. When almost all of the pink is gone, I'm going to add some chopped onion and some chopped garlic. Now, if your ground beef has a lot of fat in it, be sure to take some of that fat out. Mine was pretty lean, so I didn't have to drain a whole lot of it out. So I've added my onion and my garlic, and I'm going to let this cook for a few minutes. After the onion has had a chance to soften for a few minutes, I'm going to add all of my other wonderful good chili ingredients here, starting with some salt, some tomato sauce, some crushed tomatoes. Now you can use diced tomatoes or even whole tomatoes depending on what kind of a texture you want for your chili. Some beef broth. Now I made this myself, but you can get some good quality beef broth at the store. Be sure to use low sodium so you can control how much salt is in your chili. A cup of hard cider. Now this is kind of up to your choosing too. I really like the hard cider taste, but you can use beer if you want to. You can use wine if you want to. If you don't want to go with the high octane route, you can always just add more beef broth. So I put that hard cider in, and now for my spices. Chili powder, of course, because this is chili after all. Dump in a whole generous supply of chili powder. Some cumin. Cumin makes it nice and smoky. And along with that smoke, maybe a little bit of some sweet too. This is my secret ingredient. I oftentimes add pumpkin pie spice to my chili. I know, don't be scrunching up your nose. It's a really good combination with the smoky cumin and the chili powder. And then finally, a couple of bay leaves. Pick a couple of bigger ones so that you're able to fish them out later. There they go, my bay leaves. I'm going to give this a bit of a stir. I'll turn my temperature down to low to just a simmer, and then pretty much just let this chili do its thing. Let it sit at a simmer for about, an hour, hour and a half, couple hours. In other words, the longer the better. And how do you know if it's the right temperature? How do you know that it's at a good simmer? Well, if you look at your stove and you see that some of the chili is popping out onto the stove and you see these little red dots, temperature's too high. Turn it down a little bit, and that will be good to go. Now that my chili has simmered for a long, long time, I'm going to taste it to make sure it has enough salt, and mine does. And then I get to start adding the fun ingredients. I'm going to start with some smoked sausage. Now, I know that smoked sausage is fully cooked already, but I like to slice it and put it into a skillet so that it gets nice and caramelized and brown. It adds a whole different flavor to the chili when I take that extra step. Next, I'm going to add some cooked corn to my chili to add a little bit of some sweetness. And then finally, edamame. If you're not familiar with edamame, well, just look up my YouTube video called Edamame Hummus, and you'll find out all about this wonderful soybean. I'll add that to the chili as well. and then let it cook for another 5 minutes or so that all those ingredients can blend and get warm, and then I'll be ready to serve. Well, I'm just about ready to serve. I have one other item to attend to, and that's to fish out these bay leaves that I put in earlier. At our house, we don't bother to take them out, and the person who gets served the bay leaf, we say, well, you just got the prize. And speaking of serving it at our house, oftentimes when we have family functions, I'll make up a whole pot of chili, and everybody else who comes brings what we call the fixins, with cheese and beans and onions and macaroni and anything that you can think of that goes with chili. So my favorite way to pile on my fixins is this. I start with some cornbread and I put it at the bottom of my bowl. Then I take that nice, rich, meaty, colorful with that corn and edamame chili, and I ladle it over my cornbread. On top of that, I put just a little bit of a dollop of sour cream, sprinkle on a little bit of some cheese, and there we have my Jazzy Gourmet version of chili. So try this yourself someday, because after all, why be ordinary when it's so easy to be jazzy?